sunny South Dallas. Anna Hill is Juanita Deming's daughter. I was born in Dallas, Texas, June 25th, 1940. I grew up in Old North Dallas. The way that I was transplanted to Southeast Dallas is through my husband. We lived in an apartment, and I wanted to be in a house. And good as he felt, he went out and he found this rental house at the end of a dead-end street over here 30 years ago. That's how I was transplanted to East Dallas, Southeast Dallas. Let me see, I think it was in 2004 or 5. Tom Leppert was the mayor of Dallas, and we were just getting organized over here in Dolphin Heights, which it didn't have a name at the time. But from us getting together, going down to City Hall, going to all the political concerns of this area, and I happened to be the one that got nominated to do the lead on the speaking at the podium. And I was at a point where I wanted everybody included. So that meant city council, the mayor, the police department, everybody had to be a part of what was going on in Dolphin Heights. That's how we got rid of crime. And so Tom Leppert, we used to do the block parties, which we'd have the street blocked off, and we'd have hamburgers and all this good stuff. And they started coming to our events. And I guess we were doing pretty good, because we would have 200 to 300 people walking around. And he came to a meeting, and he came in talking about Anna Hill is the official mayor of Dolphin Heights. And that's how that got started. And I cannot live that down. I have been trying. I got started in this community because of drugs, prostitution, and crime. And what really set me off, I had 4 grandkids under the age of 10, and they could not come outside unless they saw something illegal. This was back in the 80s. And this was one tough neighborhood. We had 4 drug dealers on this street selling whatever you do to get high. Then we had 2 smokehouses on this street. Then you come to one of the smokehouses and you do your thing. But I had the grandkids, and I didn't want my grandkids seeing all that, because hey, Grandma, what's that? And so there I was trying to explain something that they shouldn't do. And I got fed up. I got fed up with the police department at that time, because we were calling stuff in, and instead of them going where I'm reporting, they come to me. So I got used to when I called stuff in, okay, and instead of the police going where they're supposed to, they come into my house, and that way everybody knows who called the police. So I did some praying. I just asked God, I said, you lead me in the right direction. So that's how I ended up going downtown speaking to the city hall and to the police department to get them invested in our neighborhood. And I can truthfully say right now, we do not have that going on. We don't have nobody over here selling drugs, to my knowledge. And we have children going up and down the street to the playground, and they can go by themselves and they safe. But that's how I got started with that. Then we decided we needed to have a group, a crime watch group. So we organized that in 2004. The next following year, we actually graduated to a 501c4. because we were doing so much politically. And when you put the papers in, what we were doing, they said we should be a fourth, but we backed it back down because we needed donations. So we're 501c3. I met Willie 15 years ago, and we were both widows. And he reminded me of my husband, and he said I reminded him of his wife. We were together for 15 years. And within that 15-year cycle, this garden, the neighborhood association evolved, and so did the garden. Mr. Willie was a retired guy from Parkland Hospital. He worked at Parkland 30 plus years doing autopsies. He was over the morgue. He taught the residents how to do autopsies. And when he retired, this garden was created to bring this neighborhood together. And his passion was to come out here and work in the garden. And when he was living and maintaining this place, you could just about eat off the ground. There were no weeds. On top of that, there were no flowers. Everything had to be edible. And he came out of Gilmer, Texas. He had cows and all that kind of stuff. And the way that he was brought up, whatever you put in the ground, you are supposed to be able to eat it. And so he did this until he passed 5 years ago. 24/7. All I did was put a seed out here. He had glaucoma, so he went blind. That's the way it do you. It goes through the stages. And even being where he could not see, he came out here and pulled weeds. I would be looking for him, and he would be out here on his hands and knees. That's the way he worked in the garden. You know, when I first saw that, I'm like, how you know that's a weed? I know what's a weed and what's not. He always had a smart lip. So, but he did that until he finally went to glory. And I miss him. It's making me have to step up. But I'm learning. I know how to till the ground up, and I learn how to plant stuff. And I still talk to him. Let him know if I'm doing it right. I think if we do something wrong out here, it might be some thunder. Two volunteer days. One is the second and fourth Saturday of each month until maybe July. And we still be working in the garden, but it's like the earlier you get here, the better it is because it's cooler. So we have those days, but then we have different groups that want to come. And so we get that scheduled. So there's somebody always showing up. They want to do community service in the garden, or it's just a group of people that have a service day, and they'll pick Dolphin Heights. And we just had 2 or 3 groups out here. I got 2 coming next month, hot as it is. The earliest memory I have of the Fair Park is State Fair. And at the time, I had no idea we were going on one particular day. I just knew it was a whole lot of dark folks. And that was a question that I was asking specifically because of the way I grew up. Earliest memory was going to the State Fair of Texas. And the music hall, I went to some kind of musical. It was a school thing. And I went to Catholic school, so we kind of got exposed to different things. And so they would take us like to different kind of musicals. And I remember that. For 30 years, I moved over here in the early 80s. When I moved in this neighborhood, we could walk down Haskell, cross Dolphin Road, down Military to a Minyard Grocery. And that's where South Dallas, East Dallas, no matter anywhere in this area, Pleasant Grove, all that. That's where everybody catered. Later on, the Minyard family sold out, and it went to, like investors, and the next thing you know, it closed. That's the last that I remember us having a decent store to go to. Projects that we were doing here, that was one of them. We wanted a grocery store like I say you got in North Dallas, okay? I went to I went to Fiesta. I talked to 2 managers. This is way back. They were building stores, surrounding areas, not within it. And I'm trying to find out, why can't you put a store in the neighborhood, within walking distance for some of these people? And the story I got was they'd have to take too much land for parking. And I have worked on getting a decent place over here for people to shop ever since I've been in Dolphin Heights. And that's not going to happen. I've done a little homework. I have observed people that say they want this in their neighborhood. What really is happening, they are not going to support it because it's going to be too expensive. And if we want HEB, we're not going to get it. The closest thing we come into an HEB is, I call it an offspring. Like what is that they just put up? They put this thing up, Joe V's or somebody in Pleasant Grove. I'm not going. I'm not supporting it. So if I'm going to spend my money, I want the same 100% food that people in North Dallas get. So and I understand now, maybe after I'm dead and gone, they might get a store. But I have a problem when you can put 6 or 7 HEBs up in far North Dallas. You keep going further and further and further away. And you own property. I think it's in Oak Cliff somewhere. So, want to get my dander up, there it goes. It's another reason why we have this garden. Nobody have to pay for anything out of here. All they need to do is come and help maintain it. If they come out here and pull one weed, they can come back. If they see a pepper, they can get that pepper and go on with it. But it's hard to get people to do that. People want everything in their hand. My hope for this community is unity. One person can't do it. So you got to have unity. I asked him. I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to do this. Do you think I ought to do it? And I end up doing it. And it's been a success. What I would love to see with this place, every vacant lot had a house on it, legitimately built, and be sure and keep that in. So people will know exactly what I mean by that. But every property over here have a house on it and people living in it. This can be a meeting place for whatever. We've had meetings down here. We have the playground, and we have the used to be drug house is where we have our meetings, which used to be where you bought your drugs. But all that's gone. And my time is been around a long time. So I would love to just see how this neighborhood is going to thrive. I hate to see it go and all the work that we did. We'd have caused the Dolphin Road being redone. And if we hadn't been involved, they would have put 6 lanes which would have separated us further. But we found out about it, and we went and done our little talk, and it helped. Come to find out, all TxDOT wants people to do is come and tell them what they want. But you don't know that if you don't speak up. And our young people, Lord have mercy. I don't even know how to explain that. But the young people of today need to know the history. We send our kids to school, they get no education on historical facts. I doubt if anybody could tell you the true history of Memorial Day. It's a lot to be done still, and it's going to continue to be a lot. But we as African American black folks in the United States need to get our act together. We need to come together, stop pointing fingers, stop talking about I live in East Dallas, you live in South Dallas. We all in God's creation.